Hi everyone, this is John. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem. This is postmortem of my Blitz chess game number 210. I was white here. Kicked off with e4 and my opponent played e6. And we get into the French defense. Now, my opponent here, C-Rom1, is someone I played recently. He had white the last time, played the English opening, c4, and played a really nice game and won. I had one chance in early on and I missed it, and then he did a good job of outplaying me. So this is my revenge match, I guess. So c4, d4, and it was a short game, so I'm going to spend more time maybe talking about the opening because it was just a sudden disaster. And knight c3, this is the way I play the French. You can see it's actually the most popular move there, although there are other moves. Knight d2 is the tirage, e5 is the advanced variation, and e takes d5 is the exchange. After knight c3, there's two main replies. I'll go ahead and put it on. Knight f6 is the classical, and bishop b4 is the Winawer. And when I'm black, I play the French as black. I always play the Winawer. Usually, can't say always. I usually play the Winawer line, which leads to nice, exciting, double-edged play. There's also d takes e4 is pretty popular here too. That's the Rubinstein variation. But I wanted to talk about the Winawer this time, since that was what was played. So the first comment I made was you don't have to push the pawn. I mean, it's almost automatic, and it's the most popular move. This pawn is hanging, your knight is pinned, so taking or exchanging. But there are other moves, and for example, I played this move a3 once by accident and discovered that actually this is a line that you can play. And you see white still keeps some advantage here. What was it? There was another line. Oh, that's right. He takes the pawn, but you have queen g4, right? I was getting confused about whose move it was at that point. Yeah. So you lose the pawn, but you get it right back, is the point. And if you look at the computer evaluation, it still thinks there's a slight edge. So knight f6 is the best way, and then you can grab this pawn on g7. Still thinks there's a slight edge for white in this opening. It's just that white players sort of abandoned it for other lines where where you push the pawn first, thinking there was more advantage there. But this is still quite a playable line, and if you want to get out of the main lines, if you think your opponent maybe is more booked up in the main lines than you are, this is a way to play. I think there was a World Championship game where Alekhine played this way. So you can find examples of this game in Master Play too, this line. So if we go back here, so e5 is the very typical move, but you don't have to play e5. There are other moves. And there was bishop d2. This is the so-called finger slip variation. This is an actual pawn sack. You're not getting the pawn back here. Queen g4. Queen takes d4. Yeah, you maybe get one pawn back in castle queenside. But you see white, even though white is a pawn down, he has compensation for the pawn. So this is an interesting gambit line. I've never played it myself, but that's called the finger slip variation because Alekhine, I guess is how his name is pronounced, sort of. Anyway, we call it Alekhine here mostly. I played this once in a tournament, and then afterwards was asked why, or maybe in a commentary he wrote that it was just a finger slip. He actually meant to play something else, and was just improvising after bishop d2. Okay, so these are alternatives you can try here. And you can, of course, do the exchange, but these more obscure ones, bishop d2 and a3, are kind of interesting and maybe ways to take your opponent by surprise. Bishop d2 is a gambit. a3 is not even a gambit, and you get an interesting position. Okay, but I went down the main line, and my opponent played c5, and I played a3. All this is normal stuff. And now b takes is the typical response. But another sideline I wanted to show you, because I see this quite a lot in practice. A lot of times the black players will just take this pawn. And you see it's not very popular in this database, but it's an interesting line. And in fact, it's another pawn sack. Because after taking back, which is the usual response, I guess queen g4 could be played there. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. I always played it with b takes, and then queen c7. Queen c7 is a double attack. It attacks this pawn, and it attacks this pawn. And you really can't save both of them. So knight f3 is a normal move. And then if he takes the pawn, you defend with bishop d2, first of all, so that, taking the pawn is a check, and it's also a fork of the king and the rook. So at first glance it may appear devastating, but bishop d2 is a sufficient defense, and then the queen just goes back. And black has picked up a pawn, but he's wasted quite a bit of time here. And you'll see, actually, you have more than enough compensation. You have quite a strong advantage here with white. You just need to remember to play actively and get your pieces out. So anyway, I just wanted to show a few lines like that because I've seen these in practice, and sometimes if you don't know what to do first time you've seen it, it can be a little bit tricky. But white is good in all of these lines. So in the game, my opponent played bishop takes c3, which is the main move, and then b takes. And then c takes d4 is rare. Normally it's knight e7. This is the main line Winawer, knight e7 and queen to g4, attacking the pawn. But he did c takes d4 first, so I just took back, and then he played knight e7 here. And it's a computer choice, so this is a way to play. And I just followed up with the Winawer queen g4 move. Here, we're out of the opening book, so let's just look at the notation. I just followed up with the queen g4 move because I know it from other lines of the Winawer. Looks like better moves here might be just ordinary developing moves. Bishop d3. Bishop d3 is always a good move in these positions. After the c-pawn has been exchanged, the bishop can't even be harassed, and it's just got a good post there. Protects c2 and looks out on the king side. So I can recommend that. Knight f3, defending the center. a4 is also another interesting idea in a lot of these French positions. Play a4 and then you can bring the bishop out to a3 and get on this good diagonal. And you'll see this theme later. Okay, so I play queen g4, and now he could play queen c7 with about an even game, it says. Interesting. Well, queen c7 comes with threats, so I have to play bishop d2. Or, I would actually, after queen c7, I'd be tempted to play the move king to d8 to defend the pawn. Okay, so yeah, because of this queen c7 move, maybe this queen g4 was a bit premature. But he played instead knight g6, just defending this pawn. And now, really, I have an excellent position here. Follow up with this bishop d3 idea. So I probably should have played bishop d3 first, yeah. But now it's all good because now the queen here, queen to c7, I have time to play bishop d2, and I don't have to worry about c2. That's defended. So he plays queen c7 now. I play bishop d2 as predicted, and then he just develops his bishop. So I was looking for interesting ways to continue, and there's a lot of different choices here. There's moving the knight. There's just pushing the pawn. The engine likes knight f3 or e2, so developing a knight, very logical move. Yeah, h4 is also an idea. Look at that pop up on the engine. I was thinking about this. Just push the pawn. I mean, this knight is the only thing that's in between the queen and the g-pawn, so it could be pretty interesting to grab that pawn. Or develop the rooks, rook c1 to b1. I played bishop to b4. Let's see if this is... well, yeah, I gave away a lot of my advantage, so not the most accurate move. He developed his knight to c6, and I went to d6 here. That was my idea. And now knight c... Oh, knight c takes e5. What is this about? I thought it was defended. Okay, so there's a tactic here I missed in the game. Knight c takes e5. No. That's not it. It's knight c takes e5, not d4. Okay, he takes that pawn. Why is this good? Aren't I winning a piece here? Oh, because it's left this c3 square undefended. Yeah, so he's moving this knight with tempo. If we back up, so I was keeping the bishop along this diagonal to prevent the queen from coming to c3 and delivering that check, which would fork the king the rook, and I don't have a good way to defend the rook anymore. So when I play here, the bishop is no longer defending the c3 square, and so now he can move the knight with tempo. Knight c takes e5. Yeah, very nice. So what's the best try for me? Bishop takes c7. Yeah, he's also hitting my queen. Yeah, very interesting tactic. So his queen is hanging, but he's hitting my queen. And also, if I don't take the queen, he's threatening queen to c7 check. So if we look at the options here, knight c takes e5. After this, I could try queen takes e6 check, trying to get a pawn back, and then grabbing his queen, or just taking his queen right away. So let's see how this goes. Take the queen, knight takes. Oh, I just wanted to point out, if I do the normal move like recapturing here, then queen to c3 is pretty bad. Forking the king and the rook, and the king has to move, so I'm going to lose my castling privileges on top of everything else. And he's just given up a knight. He's won a rook and a pawn, so I think this is very, very good, and his queen is in an excellent position here. It's not going to get chased away easily because my rook is undefended. In fact, that knight is pinned here, so I'm in a sad way after this line. So after the move, knight c takes e5, really I have to take back. I have to take the queen to stop that queen takes c3, and then I'm losing my queen. And then he's just a pawn up at this point, although it's not a full pawn, so the game would continue. Bishop d6, h3. Okay, I have a lot of moves at this point. Just retreating this bishop back to d6, playing the move h3 to kick the knight, knight e2, developing my knight. Okay, and the game would continue. So, my pieces are out, so maybe I have compensation for the pawn. But anyway, that would have been a way for black to retain an advantage, or to get an advantage. He played queen a5 check, and I moved my king to d1. So the game is about even here. He just makes a blunder on this move. He's looking at the pin on the rook and plays on the pawn, and he plays the knight b4, and he just forgot about my bishop, which was sitting here. So just game over after that. He went ahead and resigned. But so I made a longer post-mortem since the game was so short. Show you guys some of the opening variations that can arise in the Winawer. A very interesting way to play. I like to play it for both white and black. So if you like sharp, exciting play, it can be a way to go. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this post-mortem video. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I will see you again soon. Bye.